our best to improve our community and for all who live in it. We ask you to be with the members of this council and everyone here tonight, that our meeting would go according to your will. In Jesus' name.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Good evening, everyone. This time, we please have a roll call.
Mayor Gary Moore.
Present.
City Attorney Darren Rice.
Here.
Alderman Terry Stahl is absent. Alderman Alan Marsh.
Present.
Alderman Cheryl Eccleberry. Here. Alderman Eugene McGill.
Present.
Alderman Bruce McKibben.
Here.
Alderman Clifford Reaver.
Here.
Alderman Dewey Eccleberry.
Here.
Alderman Cody Atterbury.
Here. And we have a quorum, so we can continue on. The next item would be the approval of the minutes of the last council meeting. You've had a chance to read those meetings. Are there any corrections to the meetings? Minutes of the meeting? I'm sorry. If none, is there a motion to approve?
I make that motion.
I'll second it. We have a motion by Alderman McGill, a second by Alderman Marsh. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed say no. Anyone wish to abstain? Minutes are approved. Next would be the approval of the bills that were submitted for payment since the last council meeting. Those are also included in your package. You've had a chance to review them. Are there any questions on any of the bills? If none, is there a motion to approve?
I make the motion.
Alderman Eccleberry and Alderman Eccleberry. All right.
I have a motion by Alderman Cheryl Eccleberry, seconded by Alderman Dewey Eccleberry, to approve the bills for payment. Roll call vote. Marsh.
Yes.
McGill.
Yes.
McKibben.
Yes.
Reaver.
Yes.
Stahl is absent. Atterbury.
Yes.
Dewey Eccleberry.
Yes.
Cheryl Eccleberry. Yes.
And the bills are approved. Next would be the public comment section of the meeting. At this time, is there anyone in the audience that would like to address the council? Seeing none, we will close the public comment meetings and move into routine business. Item number 1 on this evening's agenda is an ordinance regulating portable cargo container use. I'll turn this over to Attorney Rice for his description of the ordinance.
Yeah, so this is a lot like the one that we had considered last winter, except that one dealt with residences, so this one is a little bit different. It would apply to businesses and commercial entities that are in a B1 or a B2 district. So in other words, those businesses that are wanting to have these containers on their property. It basically establishes standards for how Doug Skaggs would issue a building permit. So that's what on page 2, that's kind of everything there that you see are basically the standards that he would look at as to whether or not to then issue the building permit for some business that wants to have a cargo container on their property. And as you can see, it has quite a few, including they would have to complete the permit application form as is standard and pay the applicable fee. Then it would also include stipulations that that the container cannot be used as a residence, that it has to be placed on concrete or asphalt, that it be in a solid monochromatic color. The business itself can have its name on the container or its logo or whichever one applies. It would be situated on the property so that it would minimize the best that can be done the visibility of the container from roads or other residences. It will comply with all the setback requirements and all other laws, rules, and regulations. And it can only be installed after the permit is issued. Other requirements would include it would not exceed over 30% of the total lot area of that business, and that it be at least 7 feet from any neighboring residential or accessory structure. So in that manner, you're kind of protecting the houses of any so some of our B1 and B2 districts are near or neighbor B1 or B2 districts, so that it keeps them in mind and tries to accommodate them. The other requirements would include they wouldn't be near a floodplain or within the limits of a floodplain. It would be and there's some other things. There wouldn't there's prohibitions upon it being connected to city water, utilities, or anything like that. And so that's pretty much the basis. It's mainly for those businesses that want to have a container. This gives some guidance for the zoning and building code officer, to know about. Initially, this would have been brought up as an idea to take it before the zoning board of appeals, but that this could become something done frequently, and it may be more along the lines of something that Doug, it's kind of in his job description, so to speak, and so that's what we're kind of putting the burden on Doug rather than, the volunteers that we have at the zoning board of appeals. So I'm sure Dewey can appreciate that, having served there.
Yeah.
It also prohibits the structure from being, manipulated or cut into or, torn apart. If anything like that happens, or if it ceases to follow those guidelines, that'd be a violation, and they could be fined in municipal court. So there's an enforcement mechanism to it. But that's pretty much it. Does anybody have any questions on it? I mean, it's a little lengthy, but I kind of hit the main points that made it so complete.
So this is just for businesses that we're talking about?
Yes, ma'am. Just
Did
for.
we talk about being residents, is what you said?
Yeah, that we had passed one in the winter that dealt with residences. That's kind of how it started. Was some people brought up the idea of maybe purchasing one and using them, and so that was discussed. But then they thought, well, there's also businesses that utilize this, so we should probably address that as well.
I guess I do have a question.
Yes, sir.
On page 4 here,
Oh.
it says, it talks about the placements, and you've got 4 exhibits: Main Street, Delaware Street, and then right underneath that it says this prohibition shall not apply where the owner obtains permission from the city council. So if a business has a container now on Main Street,
Yeah.
they just got to come and get a permission for it to be there.
Yes, sir. That was kind of an accommodation for certain.
And there's some out there.
Yeah, there's some out there.
Yes,
So
there
that's
is.
that.
So they just need to come before and get the permission from the council.
Yes, sir. They would be good to go.
Okay. And also there on section 6, section 6 states that storing a cargo container or truck chassis on private property is in violation of this ordinance and hereby declared a nuisance. I believe we've had maybe an issue with a truck body but I'll talk with you guys on that later. I just wanted to bring that out in public, that storing the truck chassis on private property is in violation of the ordinance.
That's correct.
Okay.
Yes, sir. Yeah.
Any other discussions on the cargo ordinance? If there are none, is there a motion to approve?
I make that motion. I'll second
We have Dewey Eccleberry is first, Cody Atterbury is second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed say no. Anyone wish to abstain? That ordinance is passed. Item number 2 is the resolution authorizing the reappointment of the Economic Development and Chamber of Commerce Coordinator. Libby Lingefelter currently serves in that position. If you'll remember, the council approved a 2-year contract as a new position with this. Her fees are divided amongst the city, the Chamber of Commerce, and the county courthouse. We have an intergovernmental agreement that will expire the end of the month. So we're going to just re-up the agreement, and I believe it's in there where
It just continues.
and rather than just say it's for a 2-year appointment, we're just going to say, hey, unless any party gives notice that they would like to terminate their part of it, it will just automatically renew. I will state that the Chamber of Commerce has signed off on this agreement. The county board meeting is upcoming. The county share is $5,000. If for some reason the county chose not to contribute the $5,000, the city should pick that additional $5,000 up. Libby's a very valuable asset and does a great job for the chamber, helps Doug out, you know, and she's an asset to the city of Fairfield. Any discussions on this appointment or the reappointment or the contract to go ahead and extend it? Is there a motion to approve it?
I'll make that. I'll second it.
I have a motion by McGill, seconded by Dewey Eccleberry to approve the resolution for the reappointment of the Economic Development and Chamber of Commerce Coordinator. Roll call vote, McGill,
Yes.
McKibben,
Yes.
Reaver,
Yes.
Stahl is absent, Atterbury,
Yes.
Dewey Eccleberry,
Yes.
Cheryl Eccleberry,
Yes.
Marsh,
Yes.
And that resolution is confirmed. Item number 3 is a resolution authorizing street closure for the FCHS homecoming parade. In the packets. They're asking that the street be closed 1 p.m. to 3:15 p.m. on Friday, October the 6th, 2023, for the homecoming parade. The routes are as previous. Chief, Assistant Chief, you see no issues with what's happening? Is there a motion to approve the street closing?
I'll make that motion.
I'll second.
I have a motion by Alderman Reaver, a second by Alderman McKibben. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed say no. Anyone wish to abstain? Resolution is approved. Item number 4 is the water tower fencing. The council, we sought to seek bids for fencing. There were no bids submitted, so I would like permission from the council just to go out and find some bids, and because we have to get that fenced in. I've contacted a company out of Champaign that put up the fencing out to the water filtration plant, so we're working with them. But we're just find some local fencing companies and just ask them to come in and take a look at it. Yes, sir.
No.
Okay.
I'll make it.
Everybody's okay with that? I don't think we need a motion, does it? We don't need a motion. I just as long as there's no objections, we'll go ahead and do what we can to get that fenced in. One other thing on the water tower I might mention, the old water tower is set to be taken down on 8:30. Will arrive about 5:30 a.m. They anticipate it to be a one-day demolition. So weather permitting and everything, the old water tower by the Airtex building will no longer be a landmark after that day. Miscellaneous. We'll move on to the miscellaneous. The only thing that I'm going to mention here is the city. We created an area for the residents to take tree limbs and stuff down on Southeast Ninth, down there by the old coal yard. It is being abused, and you're not supposed to dump 2x4s or processed wood. It's if it continues, the bad apple's going to ruin it for everybody. We'll have to close it down. It's there for our residents to use on the weekends, or when after hours when the street and bridge department is closed. But if it continues to be abused, we'll have no choice but to close it down. Any other comments under miscellaneous? There will be no need for executive session, so at this time, is there a motion to adjourn?
Make that motion.
Second.
I'll second.
Alderman Dewey Eccleberry and Alderman Cheryl Eccleberry. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed say no. Anyone wish to abstain? Have a great evening.